Call the May 2024 Committee on Accreditation to order. Ms. Bernardo, will you please call the roll?
Allison Leggett, Augustine Cervantes, Kathy Kreisha.
Here.
Katrina Chakowski, Patrick McKee.
Here.
Bob Fraley.
Here.
Alan Hollis.
Here.
Mike Hillis. Here. Marissa Luna Lopez.
Here.
Jason Lee. Gerard Morrison.
Yeah.
Kevin Taylor. We have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Good morning, and thank you for making the travels to join us up here. So this meeting is being conducted in a hybrid fashion. All members are in person. Other participants, such as institutional representatives and team leads, and several staff will be attending virtually. The Zoom link and a toll-free phone number has also been made available to the public. Regarding the microphones, please mute your laptop speakers and microphones and mute yourselves on the Zoom video. It's very important to do this. Just please press the button on the microphone to activate it when you speak, and then when you're done speaking, push it again to deactivate it. For those participating via Zoom, we'd like to ask that everyone check their Zoom ID and make sure it contains your first and last name accurately so we are able to call on you appropriately, and also we can get all the names accurately recorded in the record. If you need to update your name, simply click on the three dots in the window with your picture to bring up the rename option. When it is time to take up an item, we will need a moment to bring the appropriate attendees into the main meeting room and be sure they can see and hear the committee, and also we can see and hear them as well. Participants will need to turn on the camera and also unmute the microphone. Regarding public comment, if any member of the public wishes to comment on a specific item, please use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen during the item. You'll be brought into the main meeting room at the appropriate time and asked to state your name and affiliation for the record. If you wish to speak on a specific item, please send a request through the chat feature telling us which item you wish to speak to so we can ensure to call on you during the appropriate time. Another option is you can also send your comments to the chat feature and we'll be reading those aloud. Please be sure we have your full name and affiliation and which number that you are referencing. There's also a time designated for general public comment at the end of the meeting. And this is a pretty full meeting, so regarding public comment, we are going to have a 2-minute time limit. The meeting is being recorded, and after the meeting ends, the archived audio and video will be available via the Commission's website. To COA members, when you make your motions, please state the motion in full so that there's no question what the motion is. Because committee members are all in person, a roll call vote is not necessary, so you can respond by either saying aye, no, or abstain when asked for your vote. And we can also do a roll call voting if it is deemed necessary. Committee members, any questions you have about protocols or voting today? All right, seeing none, move on to item 2. Item 2 is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda for the May 2024? And remember, please unmute your microphone when speaking. Member Morrison.
Move the agenda.
All right, I'll second. Second by Member Kreischer. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Moving on to item 3, it's the approval of the minutes of the prior meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the March 2024 meeting? It'd be appropriate for any committee member not in attendance at the meeting to abstain. Member Kreischer.
I move that we approve the minutes for the prior meeting.
Thank you. So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Hillis. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Oh, I should also ask, any corrections to the meeting, to the minutes? Pardon me. All right, seeing none. Okay, we'll move on to item 4. Item 4 is the co-chair and member reports. Any members have anything you wish to report? Silent. All right. No worries. I would just like to acknowledge that Katrina Chakowski, our co-chair, is unable to be here today. So stepping in, filling in for her is Patrick McKee. Thank you so much for filling in and doing that.
Yeah, glad to help.
Thanks. Now, item 5, do we need to pass it since we're missing a member through item 5?
No, it sounds like we are okay if there's no recusals. So
Okay.
as long as we're, is it working? You're in. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
I was having trouble getting online. I'm just double checking to make sure it's working.
Okay,
It
sure.
sounds like it is.
Well, item 5 is program approvals, and there's an insert for the item. You'll find that online, so please use that version. And this is an action item. There are 6 institutions with a total of 6 programs for approval. The first is Concordia University, Irvine's Pupil Personnel Services School Psychology Intern Program. The PPS School Psychology Program was approved by the COA at the June 2023 meeting. However, the intern pathway was not part of the approval at that time. So today we're considering only the intern pathway. There are three, pardon me, also there is nothing additional the program needs to provide in order to add an intern pathway, unlike teaching interns. Joining us today from Concordia, Irvine, to answer any questions you might have about the pathway are Dr. Barbara Howard, Director of Institutional Effectiveness and Director of Assessment and Accreditation, and Heather Cherney, Pupil Personnel Services School Psychology Program Director. Are there any recusals on this item? All right, seeing none, would the institutional representatives like to say anything regarding your program?
Actually, I just want to say thank you to the IPR staff for being so immensely responsive. Thank you so much for being here and for letting us be here.
I agree. Thank you so much for bringing this to the table so we can offer this pathway for our students.
Great, thank you. And for the public, are there any public comments? All right, seeing none, any committee members have any questions for the representatives from Concordia University? Irvine? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to approve the Pupil Personnel Services School Psychology Intern Pathway for Concordia University, Irvine? Member Morrison.
Move to approve the Pupil Personal Services program for the University of Irvine.
Great, thank you. Is there a second? Member Hallis, second by Member Hallis. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations. Yeah, good luck with the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Yep, thank you. Next is Imperial County Office of Education's Clear Administrative Services Credential Program. And joining us today from Imperial County Office of Ed to answer any questions you may have about the program are Jeanette Montano, Senior Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and John Lazarczyk, Induction Coordinator. Are there any recusals on this item? All right, seeing none, would the institutional representatives like to say anything regarding your proposed program?
I sure would. I just want to thank the commission for allowing us to present our program. It's a great opportunity for us here in the Imperial County. I would also like to thank the review team for the wonderful feedback that we got to really help us make our program more robust as we went through the process. A shout out also to Gay Roby, the CTC staff member who was with us the entire way as a consultant and really helped us, again, take a deep dive into this program. Also, just a little bit about us here in Imperial County. As you guys more than likely know, we are very remote. And to be able to offer this CAS program will remove a barrier for many of our future administrators, as the options now are either our good friends at San Diego County or other programs north of us, which could be a hardship just making the drive, especially in the winter because there's mountains in between us. So we are very excited about being able to offer this locally to our administrators, many who are also on a waiting list in other county offices. So to be able to do that here locally and remove some of those barriers and hardships will also help us with we do have an administrator shortage here as well in Imperial County. So hopefully it'll help us in that respect as well. So we're very excited to join the CAS community in the state of California. So thank you.
Great, thank you for those comments. Ms. Montano, any comment you wish to offer?
The only thing I want to say is thank you for the rigorous process. The fact that every detail on that plan is read in detail and the responses that we received, we really do appreciate that because it takes a lot of work to put it together. And the feedback was on point. I mean, they were able to catch things that we didn't realize were an issue in the moment, and being able to have that collaboration with CTC and being able to work on our program is crucial. Because I am one of the students that had to leave our county to go get my clear credential elsewhere, and it was very challenging. So this is a 10-year project. It's a dream that we have, and we're hoping that it'll come true. But I even feel emotional about it because it's been a lot of work, and we're just very grateful.
Well, thank you for the comments. It's nice to know that all the hard work that you put into is acknowledged and read through by the staff here. The staff does a fantastic job of going through things. So thank you so much for those comments. We appreciate it. Any public comments? Ms. Bernardo, have you noticed any public comment? Okay, thank you. Any committee members have any questions for the representatives from the Imperial County Office of Education? All right, seeing none, this is an action item. Is there a motion to approve the Clear Administrative Services Credential Program for Imperial County Office of Education? Member Gracia.
I move that we approve the Clear Administrative Services Credential Program for Imperial County Office of Education.
So moved. Well done. Is there a second? Second by Member Lopez. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? My motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Good luck with the program.
Thank you.
Next up is the Los Angeles Unified School District's Professional School Nurse Program. And is Roxanne Purdue available? There she is at the table. Thank you for joining us, Roxanne. And also joining us today from Los Angeles Unified School District to answer any questions you may have about the proposed program are Dr. Marco Nava, Administrator for LAUSD Induction, Credentialing, and Contracts, Dr. Patricia Pernin, Director of LAUSD Intern, Credentialing, and Added Authorization Program, and Holly Knuckles, MSN, RN, Specialist Career Ladder Program to Nursing. Are there any recusals on this item? All right, seeing none, would institutional representatives like to say anything regarding your proposed program?
Hi, yes, good morning. I'd like to begin by thanking the Committee on Accreditation for their consideration of the Los Angeles Unified School Nurse Services Credential application. This is a journey that began many years ago when Martha Alvarez, our LAUSD Chief of Legislative Affairs, worked on behalf of the district with Assembly Member Luz Rivas to adopt legislation allowing LEAs to offer a Clear School Nurse Services credential. This was truly a collaborative effort, so I'd like to thank the multitude of leaders around Los Angeles that made this project possible, including our LAUSD school board members, Superintendent Alberto Carvalho, Chief Human Resources Officer Dr. Francisco Serrato, and our labor partners at United Teachers Los Angeles and Associated Administrators Los Angeles for their unwavering commitment to students, families, and school communities. They understand the important role school nurses serve in ensuring positive health and academic outcomes for students, and they are committed to ensuring that every school in the district is staffed with a full-time nurse. LAUSD serves a large number of students and families from eligible Title I that are eligible for Title I services. And the school nurse for many of these families are the first access point to healthcare services. This year alone, we've hired 221 school nurses and 450 in the past 3 years. We anticipate filling an additional 150 vacancies in the next year or two. Most of these nurses, if not all, will need to clear their nursing credential within the next 5 years. So program approval today will greatly assist us in getting our school nurses fully credentialed. It will also help us in retaining our school nurses. Los Angeles Unified has a long history and tradition of investing in educator professional development and credentialing programs. This nursing credential program would be under the supervision of Dr. Patricia Pernin. Pat, thank you for your leadership on this project as well.
Thank you, Dr. Nava. And I just want to go back to say that in 1983, LAUSD began its long journey to provide high-quality credentialing programs to those in LAUSD in order to diversify the workforce and, most importantly, to meet the needs of our students and communities within LAUSD. This school nurse services credential is very dear to me because it will allow us to align with our SNSC mission, which is to ensure that every school has a fully credentialed school nurse to eliminate the health disparities of our diverse student population and our communities. We never would have been able to do this without the dedication of our wonderful team who put this all together. Sose Bedrosian, Donna Horowitz, Cynthia Bitterman, Amber Trudgeon, Amy Y, Susanna Mislag, Mary Jane Opuka, and Holly Knuckles. I also want to thank the IPR team because as they were always there to clarify any questions we had, and a special thank you to Poonam Bede. Thank you, members of the COA, again, for your consideration of this important credential for LAU and USD. I know that through this credential, we will be able to meet the needs of our students, families, and communities in LAUSD. Thank you.
Great, thank you both. And at this point, Ms. Purdue, would you like to offer any comments, at least from your perspective?
Thanks, Bob, and
bet.
good morning, everyone. So basically, this recommendation you have in front of you today is the first of its kind for you. It's a school nurse program approval for an LEA, and it came about as a result of AB 815, as they were talking about, and that was passed back in 2021. Basically, it says that an LEA that has at least 40,000 students enrolled in the 1920 school year is able to offer a school nurse program if it's approved by the commission. And so some of you who were here at that time may recall that bill. LAUSD was the source for the bill. Previously, only programs of higher institutions could offer the school nurse program. A school nurse has an RN license before they come in, and then they get their preliminary. They have to get 2 years of experience as a school nurse in order to clear their credential, along with the 1-year program that they do, which they'll now be able to do through LAUSD if they're approved. LAUSD began working diligently with both myself and the staff on the IPR team on their standards. It was a nice collaboration between their education unit with Pat Pernin and their school nurse faculty, or what will become faculty perhaps. They took the feedback very well, kept coming back with revisions. And with that, I'll leave the decision up to you. And that summarizes the topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Purdue. Any committee members have any questions for Ms. Purdue or representatives from LA Unified? Member Morrison.
I'd just like to congratulate you on what seems to me like a reasonable idea to have a school nurse in every school, and I know that's kind of revolutionary. Yes, we need school nurses in every school. My experience as a teacher is sometimes the nurse has 5 schools, 1 each day. And you're right, we need the nurse in every school. So good luck with this.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
I know it's kind of unusual for me to speak. Good morning, everyone. I'm a proud product of Los Angeles Unified Schools, and I wanted to say, as a child growing up in at Marvin Avenue Elementary School in West Los Angeles, a student at Community Magnet, now Los Angeles Center for Enriched Studies, and also Fremont High School in South Central Los Angeles. School nurses were very integral in my upbringing. And I know that there was a shortage at the time when I was going through the school system, and they were roving at the time. Student of former McKinney-Vento, student before McKinney-Vento was a thing, homeless for a couple of years, going through the system. School nurses were the only source of medical treatment that I had personally. And I want to say I applaud you for this effort, because there are so many children, especially in that South Central Los Angeles region, where we still do a lot of work at Fremont High School and the Alumni Foundation, who need nursing care, who need this medical care on campus. So I applaud this effort. I appreciate the fact that you all want to have this program and have the staffing at every school site. Again, hats off to you. Thank you very much for this proposal.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Member Crecia.
Oh, I just want to echo, it's fantastic. My mother is a retired school nurse, and I remember her roaming. So I can't believe that it's taken this long, though, honestly. And I'm just so excited to see that this is something that is happening. So kudos and thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other further questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, this is an action item. Is there a motion to approve the professional school nurse program for Los Angeles Unified School District? So moved by Member Morrison. Oh, sorry, Member Morrison.
Move to approve the professional school nurse program for Los Angeles Unified School District.
Thank you. So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Hillis. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Congratulations on a very much needed program and offering great success in the future. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Okay, great. All right, so the IPR team is now going to join us before we consider approving the state's first PK3 ECE specialist instruction credential programs. It's important to consider these programs to remember what is different and what is similar about this new credential, and for the COA members to ask any general questions about the credential before we begin considering proposals in detail. We have had several informational items on this credential over the past couple of years, and it would be a good time today to remind you of the specifics of these credential areas. So I'll turn it over to the specialists who have know the most about it at this point. It's our IPR team. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you. So as you know, 1/3 of the IPR team, also have Poonam Beatty and Rosemary Wren with us. And so you heard us talk a lot about this credential over the last year. And so Rosemary is going to go over some of the unique aspects of the credential. But before she does that, Poonam will talk a little bit about the timeline from when they were approved until where we are here today.
Thanks, Miranda. So the program standards for the PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential were adopted by the Commission back in October of 2022. And at that time, staff began to work to put the submission requirements together based off of the submission requirements that we have currently for other educator preparation programs. And this involved, again, reviewing that type of documentation while also considering the unique components that comprise this new credential. And then in February of 2023, the Commission hosted a webinar where we went over the process of submitting a PK3 IPR proposal. And at that time, we began accepting proposals. And also during that same time frame, the Commission began the regulatory process to get the PK3 credential approved by the Office of Administrative Law. So we began the regulatory process at that time. Then a few months later, in April 2023, we hosted our first review session in person in Sacramento for 5 PK3 proposals. And then in that same month, the Commission had a hearing regarding the regulatory package. There were some revisions that were made based on public comment. And then from that point onwards, we just continued accepting proposals, continued reviewing them. And then earlier this year in February, the Office of Administrative Law approved the regulations for the credential with an effective date of April 1st, meaning as of April 1st, 2024, the Commission could begin issuing PK3 credentials and programs could go before the Committee on Accreditation for approval. And with that timeline in mind, I will now turn it over to my colleague, Rosemary.
Thank you, Poonam. I'm just going to highlight some of the unique aspects of this credential. And first of all, there's no basic skills requirement, so you won't see mention of the CBEST or a basic skills requirement degree in order to be eligible for the credential. There are 2 options for meeting the subject matter competency requirement. Either a bachelor's degree or higher in one of 9 specific majors, or 24 units of ECE or child development non-remedial degree applicable coursework from a regionally accredited institution of higher education. There is no CSET exam option for meeting this subject matter requirement. Like our other preliminary programs, the clinical practice requirement consists of 600 hours. Where this credential differs is a requirement for 2 distinct placements, with a minimum of 200 hours in a PK-TK setting and a minimum of 200 hours in a grade K through 3 setting. The remaining 200 hours may be completed in either of those settings. This credential also offers an option for candidates who meet very specific requirements related to work or practicum experience to earn equivalency for up to a total of 400 hours of their PK-TK clinical practice hours. All candidates must still complete a minimum of 200 hours in a K3 setting. Finally, this credential has 3 new standards. Standard 4, Equity, Inclusion, and Diversity. Standard 8, Effective Math Instruction in PK3 settings. And Standard 7, Effective Literacy Instruction in PK3 settings. And the team would like the committee to note that the institutions proposing this credential have addressed the entire literacy standard and TPE, including an addendum focused on each of the foundational skills in the new standard. So this is just a quick overview of the timeline and some of the unique elements of the PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential. And staff was wondering if the committee members have any questions for us. Otherwise, we'll step back and let you move forward.
Thank you. Any questions at all or comments from any committee members? Member Hallis.
I just want to thank staff for their amazing job with so many new elements to this credential and really helping the field, being overly communicative with all the changes that have come along since this was envisioned. And yeah, just a great job and many thanks.
Thank you. Member Gracie.
Just a quick clarification. So there's no CSET option, but are the allowances for them to meet the subject matter the same as for the other credentials? So like if they're in a, they don't have to do all of the hours, or can they do something like, was it the 80% rule or whatever that was? Yeah, right. Right, but for this credential, the only option they have is the coursework.
It's the degree majors, the specific degree. I'll let Rosemary answer that question, right? Do you want to go over the degrees that are acceptable again?
Sure. So there are two ways that a candidate can meet the subject matter requirements. So there are 9 named bachelor's or higher degrees that qualify, including child development, child and adolescent development, human development, early childhood education, child and family studies, early childhood studies, human development and family science, or child, adolescent, and family studies. So that's one way. If a person has a major that is named exactly along those, one of those 9, or they can complete any 24 units of early childhood or child development coursework. It's not the same coursework that would meet the multiple subject matter requirement.
Okay.
So it's because this is focused on early childhood.
Got it. And
yeah.
all before student teaching.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
Oh, I was just clarifying, all before student teaching.
Yeah, before they begin full-time student teaching, yes, just like the others. Okay. It's structured in that way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee member to comment or question? Before we continue, we want to welcome Member Leggett. Thank you for joining us. Glad you're able to make it here. Thank you. All right, well, this is the first PK3 Early Childhood Education Specialist Program. Well, first, before we do this, thank you, staff, for the work on this. This is those who know that staff and everybody's in the process of moving from this building into a new building. So in addition to continuing their ongoing work, there's more work with so many other programs being introduced and developed and that they are overseeing and helping construct, plus moving. It's like if you move from one house to another, you know what the process is. And they've been here for how many years? Yeah, over 20 years. Yeah. So it's a big process. So the fact that you're able to pull this off while doing everything else. So again, thank you to you on the IPR team, but also to all the staff who are present and with us here in the building and beyond. So thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. Okay, so again, the first PK3 Early Childhood Education Specialist Program is from San Jose State University. And joining us today from San Jose State to answer any questions you may have are David A. Whitenack, Professor and Chair, Teacher Education Program, or Department, excuse me. Maria Fusaro, Associate Professor, PK3 Credential Program Coordinator, and Isabel Vallejo, a Director of Assessment, Accreditation, and Special Programs. Are there any recusals on the item? All right, seeing none, would the institutional representatives like to say anything regarding the proposed program?
Thank you. Yes. First, I want to start by echoing the members of the other teams that have gone before us to really thank the IPR team and the reviewers. We particularly want to thank Poonam and Rosemary. They were very, very helpful, both in our meetings and online between meetings. So we really couldn't have done this without all of their support. They were super responsive throughout the entire process. Quickly, I just want to tell you that our PK3 credential program is going to be housed in our Department of Teacher Education at San Jose State. And it was developed and will be operated in collaboration with the Departments of Child and Adolescent Development and Special Education. And we've developed the program to meet community needs. It's resulting in a robust program that's going to meet the requirements and strengthen the pipeline of teachers prepared to work with young children. So we're really excited about the opportunity to be able to bring this program to our community. And the program is based on the knowledge base of learning theory and best practices related to PK3 child development and inclusion. And to develop the program, we started with our mission and vision, which emphasizes taking an interdisciplinary approach that centers children's assets and identities and attends to their holistic early learning needs. And that effort was facilitated by San Jose State University's Early Childhood Institute. So I'll turn it over to my colleague, Maria Fusaro, to say a bit more about that.
Just the Early Childhood Institute, or ECI, was launched in our Lurie College of Education to elevate early childhood, both on campus and in the regional community. So we focus on equity, quality, and inclusion in early childhood settings. So with that backdrop, we were well positioned to bring faculty and staff together across the college to develop the PK3 credential program. Special thank you to Isabel Vallejo, who was really critical in helping us prepare this proposal. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments. Ms. Vallejo, any comment you wish to offer?
Just to echo the thank you to the IPR team, especially to Rosemary, who would answer my questions and emails basically every day. Without her guidance, we wouldn't be here today. And also, I would like to recognize the other members of the San Jose State team who put together this proposal, Dr. Amy Dislasser and Dr. Andrea Goldower, whose expertise is also reflected in our proposal. So thank you for this opportunity.
Great, thank you. Are there any public comments at all? All right, seeing none. Any committee members have any questions for the representatives from San Jose State University? Commissioner Davis.
Good morning. I wanted to say, wow, thank you to the staff. You all are amazing. I just never thought that this would actually be something that I would witness, the very first institution that has a proposal before the Committee on Accreditation. So I'm just very, very blessed to be here today to see this progress. I mean, I've only been on the commission for about 2 years, and I've seen kind of the evolution of this entire process of the P3 credential, and to see that folks in my hometown there in San Jose, because I live in Santa Clara County as well and work there too, will be partnering with San Jose State to provide this new credential, and groundbreaking stuff that you all are doing. So this is history in the making. I hope to be able to come out and see your program very soon. I know that Kate Brown, Commissioner Brown, is texting me right now. She's super excited about this entire process. She goes, I'm watching, I promise. And she wants details. So at some point we'll have to contact you all so that we can come and take a look, because again, this is going, if approved, will be the first program in practice here in California. So we want to send our kudos to you for all of your hard work as well in preparing for this big undertaking. Thank you very much for your work, and thank you again to staff. You all again are amazing. This is such a heavy lift, especially with the moving and everything. Wow. You all deserve a medal, an award, a raise. Think about that. Anyway, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Member Hallis.
Again, congratulations on all the hard work of being the first. or amongst the first. Staff mentioned there are 3 new or newer standards you had to address with the literacy, the math, and the equity. Can you talk a little bit about how you approach those and how they kind of help shape your whole program and proposal?
Yeah, definitely. So really, I mean, with each of those standards, we just looked at the components of the standards and looked at our curriculum and figured out where we were addressing each component of the standard, and just kind of went through an iterative process throughout to make sure we were covering everything. As Rosemary mentioned in her comments earlier, there's a particular standard related to the literacy. So that's, and there's Teacher Performance Expectation 7.5, which focuses on foundational skills. There was an addendum to that, and we just broke it out skill by skill and made sure that candidates were going to be introduced to each of those components and have opportunities to practice them and then be assessed on them. So it was just, I think the clarity of the standards themselves really helped in our curriculum development with regard to all of those things. And then again, as we've said before, the guidance from the reviewers was really helpful in making things more clear from our end. And yeah, we feel like we've been able to fully meet all of the standards. So that's how we approached it.
All right, thank you. Any other committee member have any comment or question? All right, seeing none, this is an action item. Is there a motion to approve the PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential Program for San Jose State University? Member Morrison.
I move to approve the PK3 Early Childhood Education Specialist Instructional Credential Program for San Jose State University.
Great, well stated and so moved. Is there a second? Member Hillis. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations in a very monumental moment in teaching history here in the state of California. So thank you so much for your efforts, and we really look forward to a successful program. And thank you for staff for helping shepherding this through the process. So again, congratulations and good luck moving forward.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up is the Fresno State University's PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential Program. Joining us today from Fresno State to answer any questions you may have about the program are Dr. Pei-Ying Wu, Assistant Professor and Fancer Chair of Early Childhood Education, Dr. Heather Horsley, Associate Professor of Early Childhood Education and Residency Programs Director, and Dr. Juliet Waltleichner, Associate Professor of Literacy Education. Did I skip one? Well, we are making a U-turn and heading down south. We're going for a road trip to San Diego. So Fresno, hang in there. So I'm sorry about all that. Yes, the next program is San Diego County Office of Education's PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Intern Program. Joining us today from San Diego County Office of Ed to answer any questions you may have are Jana Anderson, Coordinator, Teacher Effectiveness and Preparation, Human Resource. Carrie Morgan, Director of Teacher Effectiveness and Preparation, Human Resource. Sheva, is it Sheva? Sheva?
Very close. Shiva.
Shiva?
Yes.
Shiva, okay. Shiva Jones, Executive Director of Teacher Effectiveness and Preparation for Human Resources. Any recusals? Well, thank you from San Diego for being patient as I stumble through and introduce the wrong. You're looking like, aren't we supposed to be here? But anyways, anything you wish to say regarding your program?
Yes. First of all, we just want to thank you so much for having us here today. We at the San Diego County Office of Education are excited to offer this new PK3 intern program to teachers in our county. We know that it will support the youngest learners in our school districts, and we look forward to seeing the positive impact that this program will have on our community. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. Anyone else from the institution wish to offer any comment?
I wanted to add a little thank you for a unique, I thought, networking opportunity, which the the group before me kind of reminded me of that. It was the community circles for the PK3 just networking opportunities. And it was a great way to really meet people statewide that had the same interests. And then we were also able to go off into smaller groups for our particular needs, which ours was intern. And so I just thought that was a great space that the commission offered for us to network and really communicate statewide to make sure we were all, doing the right thing for our youngest learners.
All right, thank you. All right, any other questions or comments on the institution? I'm sorry, or comments on the institution at all? No, are there any public comments? No public comments. Any committee members have any questions for the representatives from San Diego County Office of Education? Co-Chair Patrick McKee.
I just want to send my kudos to the San Diego County Office of Education, not only writing a program, but they spearheaded this year's induction conference simultaneously to writing this. And I believe it was the most attended conference this state. Over 700 people came to that conference and they spearheaded it. So congratulations on putting forth this program, but also on the side, really creating professional development for the state of California.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comment? Member Hallis.
I just want to congratulate you all on a very, very strong submission. Can you talk a little bit about how the intern pathway specific to this credential is going to provide some teachers with that real practical experience in the classroom as they go through your program?
Sure, I'm happy to. We know that there are shortages in especially TK classrooms. And so it was of utmost importance for us to ensure that we would provide a pathway that would get teachers into those vacant classrooms as soon as possible, which is what led us to the intern pathway. We know that with the support that they will receive from not only the coursework in our program, but also the fieldwork supervisors that we will provide them and the mentors that they will have on staff, that they will be guided into developing their classroom practice in support of the students that they will be serving.
Thank you. Any other committee member have any comment or question? Okay, this is an action item. Is there a motion to approve the PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Intern Program for San Diego County Office of Education? Member Hallis.
I move that we approve the PK3 Early Childhood Education Specialist Credential Intern Pathway for the San Diego County Office of Education.
Thank you. So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Cracia. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Congratulations. Oh, yes.
I just wanted to add one thing that there's a particular challenge with this credential because it requires 2 placements, or it requires that 200 hours. So for an intern program to really intentionally look for how are we going to give our interns those opportunities, and San Diego did a very nice job with that. But I wanted to just remind everybody how challenging that is for an intern program, and kudos to San Diego for finding a way.
Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you so much. It looks like they've left already, but again, congratulations and thank you. Fresno, now we are ready for you. All right. Fresno State University's PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential Program. I introduced them once. Let's do it again. Dr. Pei-Ying Wu, Assistant Professor and Fansler Chair of Early Childhood Education. Dr. Heather Horsley, Associate Professor of Early Childhood Education and Residency Programs Director. And Dr. Juliet Waltleitner, Associate Professor of Literacy Education and Director of Educator Preparation Programs and Accreditation. Are there any recusals on this item? All right, seeing none, would the institutional representative like to say anything regarding your program?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Pei-Ying Wu, and I want to begin by thanking the Committee on Accreditation for your consideration of Fresno State's PK3 credential program. After a rigorous, nearly 2-year development process, we're thrilled to be one of the first adopters of the new program, and we also want to extend our gratitude to the IPR team, especially Dr. Rosemary Warren, for their responsive and supportive role during our IPR process. So for us, in response to the CDE's peak to 3rd grade alignment effort and a high demand of PK3 teachers, we had fostered partnership across our region, which includes collaboration with Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, Early Care and Education Department, community college partners, representatives from local educational agencies, and departments within our campus, such as Department of Child and Family Science, Fresno State Programs for Children. So these partnerships have been instrumental in gathering data about the regional needs and expectations of EC workforce, and in streamlining transitions between higher education institution and the EC workforce. And I also want to thank our program design team, Dr. Julia Walliner, Dr. Heather Horsley, and Marcy Haas, as well as our 11 amazing course developers who work diligently, study new TPEs, making sure we include every standards in many courses. And throughout our program, several courses address social, cultural, philosophical, historical foundation of education, and make numerous explicit connection to preschool learning foundations and K-3 content standards. You can find evidence of addressing explicit and implicit racial bias and promoting linguistically and culturally sustaining pedagogy. Evidence of language and early literacy development, as well as learning math and STEAM education, is present in courses across 3 phases. Not to mention, our clinical practice is purposefully designed to provide candidates with a developmental and sequential set of activities over the course of the program, evolving across 3 California early learning settings: state preschool, transitional kindergarten, and K-3 grade classrooms. So as a result of such collaboration, we hope our PK3 program meets the expectation of the EC community and the needs of our district partners. And in this unprecedented time for early childhood education in California, we are optimistic that our PK3 credential program will develop ethical, competent early childhood teachers who can provide all young children in PK to 3rd grade with equitable access to high quality learning experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wu. Dr. Horsley or Dr. Walt-Leithner, either of you wish to offer comment?
Thank you very much. I also just want to share some gratitude about Dr. Wu. She has been just the wonderful leader guiding us through so much. She's so organized. So Dr. Wu, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to publicly say I am so grateful that we came to Fresno State together. We started here together. And I love working side by side with you in our work together and all the wonderful things that we get to do. And the other piece that I wanted to add to the collaborative work that we've been doing is also to say the support that we've had from the CSU system across the board. We've been a part of the Uplift initiative that brought together, I think, about 8 campuses early on, and we were a part of that learning community that helped us build out different workbooks and think about the different students that would enter into the PK3 credential. And that was really helpful to think about what types of barriers and also the assets that the students would bring. Dr. Pavri, or Shireen, she's been phenomenal bringing us together in convenings, bringing funding towards the work to help us support these proposals. So we hope more CSUs will be bringing forth proposals after us for you to hear all the great work that our colleagues across the CSU will bring forth as well. And I also want to mention that other organizations like the English Learner Workforce Investment Group we've been a part of that work, really thinking about the unique needs of and the strengths that the English learners will need and dual language learners in the PK3 settings as well. So just really thinking about the importance of that collaboration, and the support we've been receiving from the CSU has been really important in this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Horsley. Dr. Walt-Leithner, would you wish to offer any comment?
Yes, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Really, I just want to echo what my colleagues have said. We are really excited to be able to offer this PK3 credential and to, we think that overall it really strengthens the work that Fresno State does in teacher education and in serving our Central Valley. We're excited to be one of the first institutions with San Jose, or within the CSU system with San Jose State, to have this approval. And again, I just want to thank the commission, particularly a huge shout out to Rosemary for hopping on Zooms with us and giving us additional feedback and talking through everything with us. Thank you to Dr. Pavri and the CSU work for bringing us together with the other institutions just to think through how we're tackling this. And then a special shout out to Dr. Wu for her leadership, because we would not be here today without her leadership. So thank you all.
Thank you. Are there any public comments? No public comment. Any committee members have any questions for representatives from Fresno State University? Member Hillis.
Yeah, great job on the proposal. One of the questions that I had that was actually just kind of prompted by your comment was that this potential population brings a unique set of attributes to it. And I'm curious if you have any kind of preliminary thoughts on what this particular population of teacher candidates, some of the barriers that they may be facing that may be unique.
So are you referring to our future potential applicants who are coming to the credential program? Just want to clarify.
Correct. Yeah, the comment was made that this group will be bringing in some unique attributes. And so I'm just curious if you're anticipating what those could be.
Yeah. So based on our initial interaction with about over 230 people who are interested, want to know more about PK3 credential, we found that many of them are experienced preschool teachers. And they will bring a lot of experience and then developmentally appropriate practice into the program and also into our public school system. However, they also have to face some personal challenges, such as they need to quit their job and they need to pick up the academic learning after they finish their BA for so many years. So we already see those strengths, opportunities, but also areas that they need support with. So for us, what we are planning to do is, first of all, we have two positions. One is navigators, who help people who want to apply to this credential to figure out their pathways and what they will experience, and then to help them with looking for financial aid, and then also looking for applications, process support. And we also are going to establish a role which is called candidate advocate, because we know that they will need some support, emotionally, professionally, in academic learning, etc. So hopefully, based on this care center philosophy, we can support our amazing future PK3 teachers completing their credential program.
And then the other piece of this is working with our district partnerships that we already have solidly in place to think about our pathways. So with residency work, and hopefully, we'll, as we're thinking about our budget situation currently, to continue to advocate for funding that will continue to support our teacher education pathways. The teacher residency grants, for example, the Golden State Teacher Grants would be lovely to see the funding continue there. Also, we are deeply invested in apprenticeship models and looking at that as a future avenue to support our future teacher workforce. So also looking at the grants around paraprofessionals and the current classified workforce, because we do think that with talking to our district partners, there will be also applicants for the PK3. They're currently classified that need to have opportunities to move into a credentialed status.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee member have any question or comment? Commissioner Davis.
Good morning. I'm going to to backtrack and say congratulations to San Diego for being number 2, and congratulations to you all for being number 3 with the proposal this morning. I appreciate the wholehearted wrap your arms around candidates' approach to preparation. If I had had this type of support when I was getting my credential, I think it would have been a bit of a smoother situation for me. I was, a working student who was on an emergency credential. So I started in and I did not have the mentored support that you all seem to be giving or proposing to give to your candidates. And again, we usually tout the efforts at Fresno State for just the wonderful work that you all do in your credential program. But this is kind of a game changer for me personally. I've read lots of proposals for programs, but these elements that you all just mentioned, the navigators, the candidate advocates, in conjunction with the district partnerships, wow. Thank you for those efforts above and beyond investing dollars in the candidates, because as we all know, I work with older adults. I work with adults in the middle of their careers. It's different than working with bright-eyed, bushy-tailed folks right out of a BA program, right? And so there is a bit of almost like a PTSD, going back to school, writing research papers, writing and speaking academically, and all of that is involved in that process. Boy, you all are doing, sounds like you all have your work cut out for you, and that you're going to be doing an excellent job there. Thank you for preparing for your population.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Any other committee members have any comment or question? Yeah, Co-Chair McKee.
I want to extend Commissioner Davis's comment and thank Member Hillis, because that navigator approach, I think it's a novel idea that could benefit many programs, even induction programs, preliminary programs, that somebody knows who they can go to. And that when you look at program standards, it talks about how is the candidate supported from beginning application to completion. You have a navigator. So a novel way, a novel lens, an approach that I just commend you for building into your program, because you do also have candidates who are coming in as it is still their career, but it's a second career in many ways because it's new. And I'm writing a note about navigator. It might be something that would be good for me to share with other programs that are out there. So thank you for leading forward with that.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? All right, this is an action item. Is there a motion to approve the PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential Program for Fresno State University? Member Crecia.
I move that we accept the PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential IPR proposal for Fresno State.
So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations to all three of the institutions for a very monumental experience and moment.
Aaron wants to say something too.
And I just also want to thank the IPR team for shepherding the whole process. Ms. Sullivan.
Yeah, I just would like to make a comment to all the folks that are watching, because I know a lot of people from programs tune in. Please don't be afraid to reach out to any of these programs and ask them for guidance, or how did they do it, or to problem solve. We are a regulatory agency, which means it's a little boring sometimes. You don't get extra points for originality. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it by yourself. So there's 3 fantastic programs out there right now, each with unique aspects that you've heard the COA members comment on. So please don't hesitate to reach out to these folks. They're wonderful colleagues.
Yeah, and I think, Aaron, thank you for bringing those comments. It's, we're all in this together. It's all for the good of the cause. And so the more that we can help each other, the better. So thanks for the comment of support.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to start by saying, I think it's kind of poetic that on the natural, we were able to approve, you were able to approve today a Northern, a Southern, and a Central Valley. I love that covering at least this first time part of the state. But I also, Rosemary has asked me to just acknowledge how demanding the process was. and how responsive these institutions were, immediately getting back and clarifying, and all of the work that I too have to acknowledge the IPR staff being absolutely exceptional and really working hand in glove with these institutions to try to answer the reviewers' questions and try to be on point with what needed to be changed or altered in their programs. And then just one more thing is that over the last couple of years in developing this, these institutions, as well as the ones going through right now, have been really patient with us as we all, it was kind of a learning opportunity for all of us, you know, as the regulatory process was happening and we had to make changes. The commission added a practicum equivalency sort of after the fact. So then we had to make those adjustments. So there's been kind of a lot of fits and starts with this, but everybody's been very patient and working really hard to make sure that we're addressing things. So just thank you to everybody, and thank you to the reviewers out there. We cannot forget the reviewers. We absolutely need them. So
thank you. And all who contributed to a new path. It's exciting. And so you're breaking new ground, and we look forward to you're setting the standard for others to follow, but also opening paths and opportunities for those moving forward. So thank you so much for your efforts from the institutions, but also from the staff here at the CTC. Thank you all. So thank you. Have a great day. We're now on to item 6. Item 6 is the report of program status changes. There's an insert on the item, so please use the insert document, which does contain the updated information. Parts 1A, sections A, B, and C. The item is divided into 2 parts. Part 1 includes items for action by the COA, which include requests to withdraw, requests to reactivate inactive programs, and/or requests to add a new content area to an existing program. So section A, program withdrawals. This is an action item. There's one program sponsor who's going to be withdrawing one program. Loyola Marymount University Preliminary Administrative Services, effective May 6, 2024. This is an action item. Are there any recusals? All right, seeing none. Are there any public comments? No. Are there any committee members who have any questions regarding the program? All right, seeing none, this is a motion. Is there a motion by a committee member? Member Hallis.
I move to approve the withdrawal of the Loyola Marymount University Preliminary Admin Services credential effective May 6, 2024.
Well done. Is there a second? A second by Member Crazy. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. I think I know what everybody waits to say. I'm not going to say that mouthful. Waiting for somebody else. We're going to do the old teacher 7-second rule. You just wait and someone's going to crack. Someone's going to wave their hand. All right, so moving on to, let's see, B. Yep, B is professional preparation programs requesting reactivation. There are no program requests for reactivation at this time. C, adding a new content area to an existing program. There are 3 institutions requesting to add new content areas to their existing single subject programs. All of these are in theater and dance. First is Cal State University Fullerton single subject in theater. This item is an action item. Are there any recusals? All right, seeing none, we do have a representative from CSU Fullerton. If you have any questions regarding the program, Dr. Amanda Rose Villarreal, Assistant Professor of Theater Education. Do you wish to offer any comment?
I do, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the CTC for establishing the VAPA standards for theater and dance, which demonstrates commitments to both making arts education accessible and to promoting the social, emotional, and media literacy learning that performing arts education supports and making those equitably accessible in public schools across the state. This program is the first of its kind at Cal State Fullerton, created in collaboration with both the secondary education department and the theater department in order to bring pedagogy, social justice, and theatrical praxis into alignment with the goal of arming future theater teachers with the tools they need in order to become ethical, effective, and efficient in their approach to serving young students as theater educators. I'd also like to thank the CTC staff, the reviewers, and especially Jake Schuler for supporting the process of developing this program. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any public comment? All right, seeing none, committee members have any questions regarding the program? 5, 6, 7. All right, seeing none, is there a motion? Member Creasy.
I move that we accept the addition of the single subject theater credential area for California State University Fullerton.
All right, so moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Hillis. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations. It's nice to see that theater is relatively new in the process, or in the whole credentialing here. It's nice to see that. As a member of the arts myself, it's been long overdue to see, and I'm very appreciative to see the work that's being done. So congratulations. All right, next up is California State University Long Beach, single subject and dance. This item is for action. Are there any recusals? All right, seeing none, we have representatives from CSU Long Beach to answer any questions you may have about the program. Joining us is Dr. Arlene Luhr, Professor of History, Interim Director of Single Subject Credential Program, and Zakiya Atkinson, Assistant Professor of Dance and Single Subject Credential Coordinator for Dance. Do the institution wish to have any comments regarding the program?
No, we're just excited to be able to offer this program to the Long Beach community.
Okay, great. Short and sweet. Thank you. That works. Any comments or questions from committee members? Member Morrison.
I'd just like to echo the comment you made at the last item. It's great to see these credentials being offered. It's a relatively new credential. And again, kudos to Long Beach for doing the work to put this on.
Yeah, thank you. Well stated. Any further comment or question? All right, this is an action item. Is there a motion? Member Morrison.
I move that we accept the addition of the single subject dance program to Cal State University Long Beach.
So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Hillis. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks. Go ahead.
Thank
Go have a
you.
great day. You bet. Thank you. And lastly is Cal State University Sacramento. We have a single subject in theater and a single subject in dance. And this is an action item. Are there any recusals? All right, seeing none, I believe we do have representatives from from Sac State University to answer any questions that you have regarding the program. We have Dr. Jenna Porter, Professor and Chair of Teaching Credentials, and Michelle Hinman, is it Neufer? All right, thank you. Instructor of Department of Theater and Dance. Are there any public comments? Seeing none, committee members, have any questions you wish to ask? All right, would the institution wish to offer any comments?
I am just feeling the love this morning for all of the new people. The staff, Jake in particular, for his work with us on this. It's amazing. This is really wonderful. And these are two brand new content areas for us here at Sac State, and we're really excited. Seeing my colleague Michelle here, I just also want to acknowledge and say that we have very well collaborated on this through our undergraduate majors in theater and dance. And so we're really, really excited at the possibility of being able to do this. And I feel like we're really well positioned in Sacramento with the artists, the teaching artists, and all of the work, the creative work that's going on here to recruit into our program. So Michelle, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that.
Yes, and we know with the passing of Prop 28, there is such a demand in working with our partner districts and how much they need these credentialed teachers. So we're very, very excited to be able to provide that for our districts and to provide equitable access to the arts for students in the public schools in California.
All right, thank you both. Yeah, Sacramento, a rich area in the arts, so it's definitely well suited for this type of program. And you're right, Prop 28 opens so many doors. So the timing could not be better for the program that you're proposing. Any comments or questions from committee members? All right, seeing none, this is an action item. Is there a motion? I'll restate that. Who will make the motion? Member Hillis.
I'd like to move that we approve the addition of the single subject areas in theater and dance for Cal State University, Sacramento.
Great, thank you. So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Crecia. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Now we're on to Part D. Part D, sections D and E. For notification purpose only, and no action is required. Section D is for programs transitioning. Following institutions have completed the documentation review to transition to recently updated standards for the bilingual authorization effective July 1, 2023, because, okay, it is 2023. We have Cal State University Fresno in Spanish, San Francisco State University in Cantonese, Mandarin, and Spanish, and San Jose State University, Mandarin. Section E, programs moving to inactive status. It's an information item only, and there are 3 programs requesting to move to inactive status. Alliant International University, Specialist Teaching, Bilingual Authorization, effective May 2, 2024. Notre Dame de Namur University, Preliminary Administrative Services, effective May 6, 2024. And University of San Francisco, Preliminary Administrative Services with Intern, effective July 31, 2024. That concludes item 6. We're now moving on to item 7. Item 7 is a discussion of institutions not in compliance with accreditation timelines, and there are no institutions to report at this time. Now we have item 8 that is time certain, and it looks like it's pretty full after that. Can we take a quick stretch break? Okay, joining him are institutional representatives, Dr. Anna Ortiz, Dean, Dr. Rebecca Bustamante, Associate Dean, Dr. Daisy D. Alfaro, Assessment and Accreditation Assistant Director, Ryan Adams, Assessment and Accreditation Data Analyst, and Kit Van Wyk, Credential Center Assistant Director. Does anyone need to recuse himself? All right, seeing none, Mr. Schuler, will you please begin?
What about now? Yeah? Okay. The light is not very illuminative. I don't think that's a word yet. All right. Good morning, committee members. The California State University Long Beach site visit took place February 26th to March 1st of 2023. Following their site visit at the May 2023 COA meeting, the COA assigned the status of accreditation consistent with the recommendation of the site visit team. The COA also required Cal State Long Beach to submit a 7th-year report addressing Common Standard 4, which was met with concerns. The main area of concern with Common Standard 4 was around a consistent unit continuous improvement process for all credential programs. Following the May 2023 COA meeting, Dr. Daisy Alfaro and Dr. Rebecca Bustamante, who you've introduced and are joining us today via Zoom, have been in consistent communication with me on their progress toward addressing Common Standard 4 and toward preparing the 7th-year report that they've submitted for today. The Cal State University Long Beach team, under the leadership of their new dean, Dr. Anna Ortiz, have undertaken robust efforts to address Common Standard 4. The full report is attached to the item, but some highlights include, first, the implementation of a new strategic plan that focuses on making data more accessible within all credential programs, cultivating a culture of assessment that centers on equity and supports data-driven decision-making and continuous improvement. Second, new initiatives specific to data sharing, including integrated credential program surveys and advanced Cal TPA and APA reporting. Also, increased communication between the College of Education and the College of Health and Human Services, which several of the unit's credential programs are housed within. As I stated, the full 7th-year report includes much more detail, but I'll stop there and turn it over to the dean and to Daisy and Rebecca to provide any further comments from their team.
Well, thank you, Jake. I appreciate both all the guidance and consultation that you've offered us throughout the accreditation process, and the thoughtful comments that you just made on the assessment system that we've developed since the time you were all here just a year ago. And I think the our assessment team, which involves our assessment and accreditation office, our credential office, the associate dean's office, has done a great job at designing a strategic plan where multiple stakeholders were involved in that plan. Through that process, we have learned ways to both set up an assessment system that is efficient, but also provides us with deep information about our programs and our candidates. I'm especially grateful that we have been able to design a system that allows us to collect data in a way that we can use to compare progress across programs, to decrease the number of different surveys we have implemented over time. Every program virtually had a different survey, and we've consolidated that allows for standardization across programs, but also for us to collect unique data particular to each of the programs. And we have been conscientious and including our partners in Health and Human Services. And I'm glad that was noticed by you in the report that we provided. I'll turn now over to Rebecca, who might be able to fill in more details about what we've done.
Yes. One of the great things, as Dean Ortiz has noted, has been our emergent strategic planning process. I will also note at the time that we went through our external review, our assessment and accreditation office was being totally restructured with its own new strategic plan. And we're feeling very proud of our robust continuous improvement system. One thing that we've also introduced is we've invested in a digital tracking system for all of our clinical practice across our credential programs, so that candidates are able to log in their hours, describe the kinds of clinical practice activities they were involved in, and then faculty are able to monitor that in real time and make program adjustments and support candidates as needed. We also have enhanced our reporting systems to be able to go back to our different stakeholders with those data, and including our district partners, school district partners on a regular basis, as well as faculty and staff through professional learning. And as Dean Ortiz described, our student survey process through our assessment and accreditation office, with thanks to the expertise of Dr. Daisy Alfaro and Ryan Adams, has been streamlined, and we are able to engage in professional learning. We've also increased the response rates on all of our candidate surveys. So we really feel that we're getting reliable data to inform our programs. So we're working on multiple fronts to engage our stakeholders. And we did invite one of our faculty members from the College of Health and Human Services, who are also integrated into our assessment committees now in the College of Ed, because one of the concerns was with our large programs and 14 different credential programs, how are we supporting those programs outside of our college? And so I'd like to refer to our colleague in the Laysoon, if she can maybe make some comments from her perspective outside of the College of Education of how we have enhanced our support.
Sure. Thanks for the invite. I'm a faculty member and also grad advisor in the Department of Speech Language Pathology. So I'm here to present you an excellent example of collaboration between our department and the College of Education. And then we work closely with two offices. I think Assessment Daisy's office, Assessment and Accreditation office, and also Credential office. And so I think three good examples will be I attended their College of Ed assessment meetings. So I think I continue to learn and also want to find ways to contribute so we can better collaborate, on the assessment reports and things like that. I think so far, I think collaboration is amazing. And also, I think that Daisy's office also provide a lot of support regarding, completing the annual data submission that we typically receive. And then it's kind of hard, and even though we are also a credit program, but it's just a lot of data to track. So their support is highly appreciated. And another example is Daisy's office also help us to revise our SOP master's program access survey. So we have our own survey, and then we were able to collaborate, and I actually got a lot of feedback from Daisy's office, and then to add excellent questions and to make the access survey more comprehensive and then more informative. So I really appreciate this. Really is an awesome example of collaborative work between our department and the College of Ed. So it's all about the good things. So thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Lisan.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Any other further comments on the institution?
As said before, we just want to thank Jake Schuler for his support throughout this process and the feedback and guidance he's provided.
Mhm.
Great, thank you for that. Jake is a good guy and does great work. Okay, so we're going to move on. This is an opportunity for public to offer any comment. Are there any member of the public wish to offer any comment? Okay, and just at this point, since we're going through some program approvals, I'll just go through some of the guidelines for the public comment. If there are any members of the public who wish to provide a comment, please notify the meeting moderator by submitting a request card if you are in person, or by clicking on the raised hand icon of participating through Zoom. You can also press *9 if participating by phone. So many options for you to participate. Any questions or comments from committee members? Co-Chair McKee.
I need to say that the response was quite impressive. The strategic plan and all the alignment across all of your programs, it was absolute joy to read and see what it is that you're accomplishing to create that. And you hinted at my one question I had, which is how you're integrating the annual data system. And you mentioned that it is complex, all the inputting and putting it together. So what is that going to look like in terms of that collaboration when the results come in each year?
Okay. Well, we begin, one thing that we have done in creating a more robust continuous improvement process is starting the ADS data collection process way in advance by working with our Office of Institutional Research on our university campus, and working early on with all of our credential programs to ensure and they are collecting data that will facilitate that process, again, in advance. Our assessment and accreditation office also offers program coordinators office hours to provide them with guidance and address any questions that may occur around the ADS report. So it's not kind of a last minute scrambling to get it done. It's something that has various checkpoints throughout the year and guidance for all of our credential programs leading up to the reporting. And then we are using the results of the ADS report in our data collection and analysis and looking at trends over time.
Thank you.
Great, thank
You're
you. Any other committee member have any comment or question? Okay, this is an action item. I just want to remind committee members that we do have the information along the side. You should have a sheet that has the different options as we go through all the different programs that we can look through for the accreditation status. So is there a motion to accept the 7th year report from California State University, Long Beach? Member Morrison.
Move to accept the 7th year report from California State University, Long Beach.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second by Member Hallis. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations. And thank you, CSU Long Beach, and also thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Schuler.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Item 9. Item 9 is a report of the site visit to Orange County Department of Education. Consultant Jake Schuler again will introduce this item, and joining him is team lead Kimberly Lilienthal and institutional representatives Amanda Baird, coordinator of Teacher Education Program, Bridget Mond, coordination of CTE Credential Program, Nicole Stevenson, coordinator of the CTE Credential Program, Dr. Hannah Getty, administrator, Institute for Leadership Development, and Kathy Boyd, director of Career Education and Post-Secondary Advancement. Are there any recusals? All right, seeing none, Mr. Schuler, will you please begin?
Yes. Good morning again, committee members. This item is for the Orange County Department of Education site visit, which took place April 14th through 17th, 2024, so just a few weeks back. The visit was conducted entirely online via Zoom. A total of 290 interviews were conducted throughout the site visit, and despite being conducted entirely online, the site visit proceeded in accordance with all normal accreditation protocols. The team at Orange County Department of Education was led by Kathy Boyd, Hannah Getty, Amanda Baird, Bridget Mont, and Nicole Stevenson. Kathy, Hannah, Amanda, Bridget, and Nicole were fantastic to work with throughout the year leading up to the site visit, and were extremely thorough in their preparation for the visit. Also joining by Zoom today is our team lead, Kimberly Lilienthal. Kim was an absolute joy to work with and a fantastic leader throughout the process. We'd also like to thank our site visit review team members, Juliana Sykes, Paul Bott, Wanda Paluba, and Stacy Meyer, for contributing their time and expertise to this visit. I will now stop here and turn it over to Kim, who will present the findings and the accreditation recommendation.
Hello. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve as team lead for the Orange County Department of Education Educator Preparation Program site visit and represent the Committee on Accreditation. I would like to echo Jake's appreciation for the team at Orange County and our site visit team who volunteered their time for review and the site visit as well. I also very much appreciated Jake's leadership as consultant on this visit. It truly was my pleasure. So I'd like to begin with a few highlights that summarize the site visit and the report you were provided. It was clearly evident to the team that all who are involved in supporting the programs at the Orange County Department of Education and the participants enrolled in the programs are having a positive experience. They feel supported, and they have adequate access to the program staff there. The team also heard very clearly that partners and participants value the responsiveness of the Orange County Department of Education team. They have built strong relationships and open communication that exists within programs and across the unit that allows for a lot of informal feedback. They combine that with formal feedback collection and reflection, and all of this allows the programs and unit to be responsive both broadly and responsive to individual needs. So even though this is a strength of theirs, they still plan to strengthen this further with additional unit level advisement and collaboration in the future. Not only is their collaboration with partners strong, they also seek out collaboration within the county office so that educator preparation programs are not working in a silo. They leverage the expertise within the organization as well as providing insight to the other departments. The unit is supported by an institution that is truly dedicated to workforce development. That was so clear. Creating pathways for people within the community and removing barriers to working in education. And this is, again, very evident within all of their work. There is a strong emphasis on supporting all students and improving outcomes for all. So as you see in the report provided, all general preconditions and preconditions for all credential programs were met. The site visit, through a thorough review of evidence and constituent interviews, determined that all program standards are met for the teacher induction program, all program standards for career technical education credential program were met, all program standards are met for the preliminary administrative services credential program, all program standards for clear administrative services credential program were met, and all common standards were met. As a result, the team unanimously recommends the Orange County Department of Education and Accreditation status of accreditation. And I'd be happy to answer any questions the committee may have.
Thank you, Ms. Lilienthal. An opportunity now for the institutional representatives to comment about their visit. And just as a formality, remind you it's not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather provide any thoughts that you may have regarding the visit itself.
Thank you. I just want to send a sincere thank you to Jake and Kim and the team. It was really an amazing, positive experience for us. I am the newest member of the team, and I couldn't be luckier to have inherited such an amazing team who's been working on this visit for many years and just having us set up so beautifully for success. And with that success really comes the opportunity that we receive to engage in that continuous improvement process. And we are looking forward to what the future holds as we look to expand and get into new spaces. So this is really just a thank you to everybody involved.
Great, thank you. Any other member of the institution wish to offer a comment? Okay, seeing none, are there any public comment? No public comments. Any questions or comments from committee members? Member Cracia.
I was just, as I was looking at the report, there's a one that says finding on common standard for met. Let's see if that's the right one. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
What standard for the continuous improvement?
Right.
Yeah, it shows met on the report from the team report.
Okay.
On first page.
But I'm on page number, oh, now I lost it. It was somewhere in the body of the report. I think it's just a typo, something that just got left in there is all.
Okay, if it is a typo, we probably should.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify, what Kathy's saying is on page 29.
Okay.
At the just below the table where everything is listed as being met consistently, we missed that it there says finding on common standard for met with concern. So to clarify, Jake and Kim, that's not accurate. We can update the report. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy.
That will be fixed and reposted.
So then it's regarded as being met, but not met with concerns.
Jake, that is correct, right? It's met, fully met.
Okay, fully met. And gold star to Kathy Cracia for catching that. I'm not page 29. I'm not page 2 or 3, page 29. That's impressive.
And in the middle of the page.
Right, in the middle of the page. Wow. Clearly, you had your.
The amended report will be reposted.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments or questions from committee members? Okay, with that one change, it's an action item. Do we have anybody willing to make a motion? Member Cracia.
I move that we accept the recommendation of accreditation for the Orange County Department of Education.
So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Hillis. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, the representatives from Orange County Department of Ed, Ms. Lilienthal and Mr. Schuler. Thank you all.
Yeah.
So item 10 is a report of the site team to Dominican University. We're actually ahead of schedule. Do we have them with us?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have a consultant, Betty will introduce the item, and joining her today is team lead, Dr. Nina Potter. And we have from the institution, Dr. Gigi Gocek, Dean of the School of Liberal Arts and Education, Dr. Elizabeth Truesdell, Chair of the Department of Education, and Dr. Susan Clapper, Accreditation Liaison Officer and Director of Assessment. And there is an insert, so I just want to call your attention to that noted within the agenda. Anyone need to recuse himself? All right, seeing none, Ms. Betty, will you please begin?
It's not. Hello? Okay. Yeah, the light's not. Okay, perfect. Good morning, committee members. Item 10 presents the Accreditation Site Visit Team's report for Dominican University of California. The site visit occurred virtually March 17th through the 20th earlier this year. I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude to the Dominican team representatives that are here with us today, Gigi, Elizabeth, and particularly Susan, for their work leading up to the site visit. I would also like to thank all the individuals who were interviewed during the site visit and other personnel at Dominican who had a role in preparing. In addition, I'm grateful to the site visit team members, and I want to name each of them: Andrew, Doris, Vanessa, Rachel, and our team lead, Nina, for their time, their dedication, and their commitment to the standards. They were a very solid team. Finally, I'm very appreciative to have been able to work again with Nina, who fully supported the team members and the site visit process. And at this point, I am going to be turning the presentation over to her to provide her thoughts on the site visit and to walk through the team's findings and the accreditation recommendation.
Thank you, Puna. Thank you, Puna. My voice is squeaking. And good morning, everybody. Good morning, committee members. I'm going to start also by thanking the staff and faculty at Dominican University for all the work they put into this accreditation site visit, and the CTC review team and Punam, thank you, for all of the work they put into a very time-intensive visit. And just to note that our last interview was at 6:45 on Tuesday evening. So it was very time-intensive, but it went well. So I'm going to start with some of the challenges that we observed that impacted the visit. But I want to be clear that when I say challenges, I'm not speaking in negative. They're not necessarily negative, but they are areas for growth and innovation. And I'm sure the DU team is up for them. So first, since the last accreditation visit, the Department of Education moved from a small School of Education and Counseling and Psychology to a much larger School of Liberal Arts and Education. And that does have an impact on the resources to the department. Second, as with any small program, faculty and staff wear multiple hats, and they have to be creative with course design in order to avoid running classes with small enrollments. Another thing, DU accepted candidates from Holy Names when they shut down, and they've been working with each candidate individually to create a plan to complete their credentials. And some of these candidates only needed a couple of classes, so DU has been very flexible in working with them. And in part due to accepting their Holy Names candidates, and in part due to moving to an online coursework, there's been a dramatic increase in the number of candidates, as well as the number of school districts where candidates are placed. And related to that, they're offering more student teaching pathways, including internships and residencies. And lastly, the unit recently lost a data manager and do not have a replacement at the time of the visit, at least, or at this time. And though these are real challenges, the review team came away with confidence that the faculty and staff at Dominican University are up to the task of taking them on and continuing to offer high quality credential programs. Some of the key words that we heard repeatedly from multiple stakeholders during the visit included collaboration, flexibility, and personalization. So collaboration was very evident between faculty and staff across the Department of Education. They work well together and are all focused on supporting their candidates as they progress through their educator preparation programs. They also collaborate regularly with the local educational community to help build a stronger educator workforce throughout the community. The flexibility of the faculty and staff was also mentioned repeatedly and can be exemplified in the work with Holy Names candidates, as well as their move to online instruction. And personalization was clearly evident in their approach to working with candidates who spoke very highly about the faculty and staff in the Department of Education, and they all really appreciate the level of support that they are received. So lastly, as they continue to grow and offer multiple pathways, it will be important for them to collect and analyze data systematically to ensure that all candidates are receiving the same strong program regardless of their pathway. So as you read in the report, for program standards, for the preliminary multiple and single subject programs, standards 4 and 6 were met. 1, 2, and 5 were met with concerns, and 3 was not met. And for the preliminary education specialist programs, 1, 4, and 6 were met, 2 and 5 met with concerns, and 3 was not met. And for the common standards, 2 and 5 were met, 1 was met with concerns, and 3 and 4 were not met. So the overall recommendation from the team is accreditation with major stipulations, and the stipulations are in the report. I'm going to now turn it back over to Poonam.
Co-chair, as co-chair Farley noted, there is an insert item link under the link to the site visit report. And in that insert item is a link to Dominican's full response to a precondition that was found to be not met at the time of the site visit. That is intern precondition number 5. And the first stipulation that is listed in the report is specific to this precondition. So there is, again, a link to Dominican's response, which is a web page on their accreditation website. And on the second page of the item, you'll see a summary of that response, along with language from the accreditation site visit report specific to this unmet precondition. After reviewing Dominican's response to this precondition, staff believes that Dominican is indeed well on their way to addressing this precondition because there are now new tracking documents, there's updated memorandums of understanding that are being put in place or that are being updated, and also documentation for site school administrators to be completed. And all that information, again, is linked on that webpage. The tracking or the logs for the 5 interns were very, very recently provided, and staff did have a chance to skim through the logs, but there's still a few clarification questions that remain. So we are anticipating that there will be an item brought before the COA at the June COA meeting to remove this specific stipulation. And with that, I will turn it back over to Co-Chair Farley.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Betty. We now invite institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you it's not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather provide any thoughts that you have about the visit itself.
Thank you and good morning. First, we would like to say a big thank you to Poonam Betty, our CTC consultant, who we depended on throughout the lead up to the site visit. She was incredibly helpful before, after, and during the site visit, answering our questions and providing guidance. Next, we want to thank Nina, who always, with a smile and encouragement, led a very hardworking accreditation team of Rachel Millstone, Doris Madrigal, Vanessa Goodwin, and Andrew Mullen. We appreciate a thoughtful review of our credential programs and for their insightful feedback. We have already begun implementing their recommendations for improvement with support from our dedicated faculty and staff like Elizabeth Truesdell and Susan Clapper, who are here with me today. And finally, we also want to express our gratitude to the Commission for granting Dominican University of California this opportunity to share our commitment to teacher preparation. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Any other member of the institution wish to offer any comments? All right, seeing none. Any member of the public wish to offer any comment? All right, seeing none. Any questions or comment from committee members? Member Morrison, then Co-Chair McKee.
I'm looking through the recommendations for the stipulations, and maybe I'm missing it, but is there not a recommendation that there are interim reports to the committee in between now and the end of next year?
Yes, that is correct. There is a stipulation specific to quarterly reports leading up to the revisit. So that is stipulation 9 on the bottom of page 4 of the item.
So we're looking at the report, but yeah, not the insert. Yeah, the insert's additional. So that I think what we're referring to there's on the report itself. Yeah. Member McKee.
One of the things that really stood out in reading the report, I think the exact words was, it's clear the potential's there. There's a huge undertaking taking over students from another university. Just looking at the numbers and how they increase significantly, So there's definitely a lot of hard work I know that's going on at your institution. One of my questions, though, another theme I saw come up a couple times is some of these were similar areas from the 2016 site visit. So then I'm thinking 2024 and moving ahead to 2030, 2031, whatever that may be. Like, what does the programs have in place to kind of really solidify some of these things so they don't become that trend that may be appearing? And if I have any of that incorrect, please correct me.
Yes, feel free to go ahead and chime in. Yep. You can answer the question.
Hi, I'm Susan Clapper. I'm the WASC ALO and Director of Assessment at Dominican, and I will be absorbing the data manager responsibilities for the department. I think a couple things to your question organically are going to be different from 2024 to 2031. The department itself has had numerous moves within the organization of Dominican. You know, as you're aware, on the higher ed landscape, we are one of those smaller tuition dependent institutions that are facing the struggles that many of our peers are. And in the reorganization for the institution, moving what was once its own school into an existing college, and then that college being transformed, you know, with those moves, that's allowed for gaps to occur. Secondly, which we hope, we're down to 3 schools, so there should be no more movement, right? I don't see them going in the business school or health and natural sciences, so I think we're good here. The other thing I think that will help maintain consistency is when you are at a small institution or in a small organization, a lot of times when one person leaves, the processes collapse. And so building processes that regardless of who is in that role will be maintained will be a huge, I think, fix to what has been a chronic, understandably so, issue with the department. It's that hit by bus, you know, question. If you get hit by a bus tomorrow, will everything keep moving? So we're definitely moving towards something like that. And with the growth, and I think in response to the last commission's findings, we often overcompensate, right? We often build all these structures because we're going to get testing now, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And we build this edifice that becomes so unsustainable that we can't manage it. So one of my favorite terms is Occam's razor. And sometimes the simplest solution is the best solution. And that's the lens that we're going to be using going forward. So we don't have a repeat from 2024 to 31. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee member have any comment? Yeah, reading through the report, you said a question regarding literacy. I was trying to see if there are any comment or documentation, certification process to align to the new literacy standards. Did I miss that within the report?
I'm sorry, would you repeat the question?
Yeah, with the new literacy standards, I was looking to try to find I need certification or documentation within the process that would be aligned to literacy standards. Did I miss that in the report?
Okay, so in terms of the finding that the team had on this, and Nina, feel free to jump in if I misspeak or misquote. So when the team was reviewing the coursework for the program, they found that the aspects of literacy were not in alignment with the current 2019 standards that are in place. Right. And rather than holding Dominican to what is in place, given the new certification, wanted to write the finding in such a way that by process of addressing the certification process that's up and coming, that would address the issue, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that clarifies. Thank you. Yes. All right. Any other comments or questions? This is an action item. Is there a motion by committee member? Member Hillis.
I move that we accept the report from the team for a recommendation of accreditation with major stipulation for Dominican University.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? A second by member Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you so much. We appreciate your openness and acceptance of where you are in the process, and taking on 4 new candidates definitely adds to your, from 1 to 5, it's a significant increase, in recognizing where you are in the process and how you can better support the moving forward is very much appreciated. And so good luck moving forward. And always lean towards the staff here for assistance.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you. Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Dr. Potter, and thank you, Ms. Betty, as well. Thank you. All right, we're moving on to item 11. We're again a little bit early. Do we have the representatives from University of Redlands? There we go. Oh, good. Looks like everybody's there. Okay, thank you. So item 11 is the report of the revisit team to University of Redlands. Administrator Aaron Sullivan and Dr. Rosemary Wren will present the item. They are joined by team lead Brad Damon and institutional representatives Dr. Nicole Howard, Dean of the School of Education, and Yesenia Jorgensen, Assistant Dean of Operations and Analytics. Anyone need to recuse himself? We have one recusal, Co-Chair McKee. Ms. Sullivan, will you please begin?
Yes, thank you, Chair Frelly. This is the report of the focused revisit to University of Redlands. The initial visit was held last year from February 26th to March 1st of 2023. It was one of a handful of in-person visits that were held last year, which was exciting for us. I will say that the institution had a last-minute challenge, which was for the first time, perhaps ever, the institution decided to provide a spring break for post-baccalaureate students, and that fell during our in-person site visit. Sorry.
We lost the quorum, so we need to wait.
Oh, apologies. We lost our quorum. We're going to hold until we get it back. Thank you, everyone, for waiting. All right, thank you. And I will start over for our member. This is the report of the focused revisit to University of Redlands. The initial visit was held last spring from February 26th to March 1st, 2023. As I was saying, this was one of a handful of in-person visits that we held last spring, which was very exciting for us to be able to do those. Unfortunately, the institution experienced a challenge at the last minute when folks outside of the School of Ed, I will say, decided to provide for a spring break for post-baccalaureate students, and that spring break fell during our site visit. So we did do a lot of our interviews virtually, but it was a little difficult because people wanted to be off. So I would just recognize the institution for doing a lot of scrambling to try to get us interviews during that in-person visit, and also all of the team for just being really flexible. It was a challenge. In the end, the team came to a decision at that initial visit of accreditation with stipulations, including a revisit and quarterly reports. And the institution has been responsive over the last year in providing those quarterly reports, providing the evidence necessary. Those have all been presented to the COA along the way, leading up to then our focused revisit. That revisit was held this March 25th through 27th, and it was held virtually as the state of California is currently on a travel ban. With a focused revisit, we send a smaller team. The stipulations for the institution were focused in their education specialist and their pupil personnel services school counseling programs. So the team that did return were the state consultants, Rosemary Wren and myself, our team lead, Brad Damon, our pupil personnel services reviewer, Laura Ibarra, and our education specialist reviewer, Kathy Peckham Harden. And I just want to thank that team for continuing to stay engaged when we have a revisit. They hang on for a little bit longer and continue to work with us in the institution. So thank you to the team. There were no unusual circumstances with this visit. Again, it was held virtually. We're very adept at that. And with that, I will turn it over to Brad to talk about the team's findings.
All right. I will be timely in my remarks and spare you the reading of the report as you have it in front of you. What I will say, it was the unanimous recommendation of the team that University of Redlands be recommended for accreditation. They thoroughly addressed all stipulations in a systematic manner that the team is very confident are sustainable and can be carried on into the future. They did an excellent job of addressing all concerns. And I will leave my remarks at that, should you have any questions.
All right, thank you. We now invite institutional representatives to offer any comment about the visit. Remind you, it's not a time to dispute the team visit, but rather provide any thoughts that you may have about the visit itself.
Thank you for that. The University of Redlands, specifically our School of Education, first wants to thank the Commission, specifically Aaron Sullivan, Rosemary Wren, as well as Brett Damon and the whole review team for their feedback and for their support during the initial cycle as well as the revisit. I'm also grateful to our faculty, staff, and the academic leadership team members for their tireless efforts. They really did great work in making sure that we continue to uphold our commitment to excellence while being dedicated to shaping our programs and fostering a culture of continuous growth and improvement. And so we're dedicated to implementing the feedback and the insights that were provided by the review committee to continue to strengthen our programs and also to continue to prepare our students for their success in the evolving field as we know it is and continues to be. So I just want to offer those words of appreciation, and then I'll allow Yesenia, our assistant dean, to provide any specifics related to lessons learned.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Hello, everyone. I'd like to echo Dr. Howard's words of appreciation for the support during this review cycle. And I must say, although it was a tremendous challenge to address some areas of misalignment, we recognize that the advantages that we've gained from these growing pains. So as a School of Education, we identified key lessons learned with the help of the report, particularly in the areas of data collection and continuous program improvement. The review process really highlighted the significance of continuous program improvement as means to really enhance the quality of our programs and meet the needs of our students. So moving forward, we're committed to further strengthening our data collection process and leveraging the insights gained. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Howard and Ms. Jorgensen. It's an opportunity now for any public comment. Okay, seeing none, committee members, any questions or comments? All right, there are none. This is an action item. Is there a motion? Member Hillis.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the recommendation to change the University of Redlands accreditation status from accreditation with stipulations to accreditation.
Great, thank you. So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Lopez. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries, and congratulations on the work that you made to get to this point to remove the stipulations. So thank you very much, Dr. Howard, Ms. Jorgensen, Dr. Wren, and Ms. Sullivan. So again, congratulations and move forward with a great day. And for those who are listening or watching, we are ahead of schedule at this point. Our next is item 12, the discussion of the first quarterly report for Alameda County Office of Education. So we're just waiting to see if we have anyone or representatives available. Okay. Sure.
Okay, yeah, that's working. It's me.
And I've tried to notify the next one that we're running a little early also. We'll see if they are available after this. You guys are a quiet bunch today.
Never know when things go weird. I put one up.
Yeah. I'm going to print this one before 15. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Should we move forward or wait for Kristen? Okay.
No, I was just going to say, you want to take a 5.
All right, you're in luck, committee. You got another 5-minute break. So we'll see you in 5.
Let me. I did ask them to make sure they were here ahead of schedule, just in case things. Yes, you do, Kristen. They're just not taking it seriously. Up, my moment.